Hello everybody, welcome back. This is Mystic Games coming at you with another Northgard clans video here. Today we're going to cover the snake, the dragon Nidhogg, and yes, I'm not going to try to pronounce that, but the clan of the horse. So we're going to start at the bottom for the clan of the snake simply because Scorched Earth is mentioned like all throughout here. So it's important to know what that is. But pretty much you burn a zone when you're in it with your war chief, and after 2 months it becomes depleted, which reduces production, and she's able to steal natural resources from the zones if it is not owned by you or your allies. That being said, we also have cloaked with them, which means enemy defense towers won't attack until the stealth units attack it. They have a unique unit that is a skirmisher, which it's a cloaked unit that can attack other enemy zones, and they can kind of wander through neutral zones without getting attacked by, animals or other neutral creatures. Cloaked units get a reduced food cost. They have a skirmisher camp, which allows you to have access to this unit, and they have the unique war chief Signy. You don't have access to fame. This is essentially a military clan, so they're not really about development. They're about attack, and they aren't a support clan really at all. They're really not even about their own economy in a sense. Signy is a unique war chief as she gets stronger as the game progresses, so the longer the game goes, the stronger she gets. And she has the ability Scorched Earth, and she has skirmisher camps. She gains Cloaked after like the first year, and she has the ability to use Scorched Earth. She gives all military units Cloaked ability, and Scorched Earth can be used more. And Scorched Earth can be used on enemy zones, and your units have 50% attack power on burned zones. So Scorched zones you gain military advantage on, even more so by gaining attack damage, 1.5 damage. All military units gain dodge with her unique relic, which allows them to avoid attacks completely. That's a 10% chance. For her tree, she allows units on burn zones to heal, which is really strong, and she also reduces the cost of a burn zone to colonize. So she burns a zone, gains attack, power advantage, all that kind of stuff, and then it is reduced in cost. She's able to steal lore from other clans, self-explanatory. You essentially steal lore from other clans. Skirmishers can attack production buildings and houses to steal resources. Guerrilla tactics permanently increases your attack power by 1% for units slain or lost in enemy territory. That's pretty strong, and for the first 3 seconds of combat, whatever the bonus is, it gets doubled. So if you have 10%, it becomes 20. If you have the maximum, which is 20, it becomes 40 for 3 seconds. So this is good at like hit and running, which is what guerrilla tactics usually are. Black market, you produce more crowns, merchants produce more, your trade routes produce more crowns, merchants produce more crowns. And you can trade even at war, and when units are using Cloaked on neutral factions, you can steal the amount received by neutral factions. So that's pretty much her unique tree. And we're going to move on to the Dragon Clan. This is another war-based faction. They do have a pretty good economy as well due to the thralls, which are essentially slaves. Which is interesting word to use, thrall. I'm not sure if they use that intentionally to not use the word slave, but essentially that's what it is. You get a sacrificial pyre, which you have to sacrifice things into, and you can build dragonkin altars instead of military camps, which essentially upgrades your warriors to dragonkin. So it's a unique military unit, very powerful. You start with 2 thralls, which collect food and can be assigned to buildings to increase the workers' production. Your civilians can go into neutral territory and suffer no happiness or production penalty from being wounded, which is super good for a combat-focused clan. You also have, for the fame bonuses, you receive 5 thralls, your dragon essence gauge is extended, and bonuses are increased. Without actually going into the game, a dragon essence bar comes up on the top of your screen and gives you bonuses to like food production, wood, those kind of things, and you get them randomly as long as you're meeting the requirements of the dragon essence gauge. For the next thing, you gain access to Draconic Nightmares by sending Dragonkin to the Dragonkin altar a second time, and your dragon essence gauge reaches its maximum size and increases the value of the bonuses. You can summon a Draconic Giant if you get their special relic, which is another war-based unit, obviously. Their tech tree is you can assign 1 extra thrall to production buildings and 1 more if upgraded. Thralls are cheaper, and minimum price is also reduced by 50%. Dragon Essence gauge decreases slower over time, which is strong. Your dragon gauge is important to you. Draconic Frenzy, 100% attack power for military units with no other military units in their zone. The Dragonkin are very strong, and you don't always need to have a whole army of them, and sometimes having 1 to defend a zone is better than having 2. It varies, though. They also do a whirlwind attack, so if you're in melee range with a bunch of units, they hit everything. Sometimes, it's not every attack. Capture, military units have a chance to capture killed neutral faction units. Chance of capture increased by 50% if your war chief is there. And you have Draconic Rage. Draconic units have 15% more attack power. Instead of Surtur capturing enemy military units, if you have available warband slots, they are instantly turned into Dragonkin and join your party. Just more fuel for burning. It's pretty much the whole play style here. You have Surtur, that's your unique war chief. You have the Dragon Gauge, which is what I was talking about earlier. Sacrifice units to the Dragon Essence. Sacrifice thralls are worth more. You want to sacrifice thralls is pretty much how it's set up. If you start sacrificing villagers, it's okay, but you generally want to use thralls. Dragonkin, very strong warriors. Stronger Dragonkin. And then Draconic Giants, as they are called. So they're a pretty simple, I shouldn't say they're a simple faction, they are actually difficult, and it's because you have to learn how to manage and produce thralls, which is a unique mechanic, and then you have to use them to feed the pyre to make sure your dragon essence doesn't fall, because it's also negative if it falls too low. But overall, they're just a very war-centric clan, and you're going to be doing a lot of combat. The interesting thing is that they do have good economy simply because of the thrall system. They're a very, very unique and interesting and fun clan. I actually really like the Dragon clan to play. They do kind of start off a little weaker, I would say, than most. Last but not least for this video, Clan of the Horse. These guys are a eco-military clan for the most part. I would argue they're slightly more eco than military. They are also the smithing clan in particular. You have 2 war chiefs with them, and they can be summoned from the forge without any iron cost. They just cost gold. They can build, they can repair, and they can mine and forge 20% faster. So they're really good to use in place of villagers to get things done around your base. And they can also just be extremely useful because you have 2 of them. I think there's actually an upgrade where if you have them in zones separate, they actually buff the zones too, but we'll get there and see. I know that used to be a thing. Ruins and shipwrecks provide minus 50% crowns, but give you plus 5 stone and can be extracted from ruins, and plus 5 iron from shipwrecks. Okay, so for their fame bonuses, when in the same zone, war chiefs mine and forge 50% faster. Selling stone or iron earns 20% more crowns. Neutral factions will accept stone and iron. Allies and neutral factions receive double resources. So what I will say about them is they are kind of the smithing / mining clan. That's what I should say. You discover 2 stone, 2 iron deposits in your territory. Zones with or adjacent to an active relic gain a 15% production. So you kind of want to stick the relic in a zone in the middle, and then it will power all the zones around it. Their relic is your war chiefs have 20% more attack power, defense, health, and their mining and forging speed is increased. Again, they are the mining and forging clan, or the smithing clan. Their attack tree is forging tools, weapons, and relics gives you fame. Forge tools for civilians get an additional 5% bonus, so it's better to upgrade your stuff because it gives you even more of a bonus. They have relics don't use a building slot. You can build an additional relic, max 1 relic per zone, so you can essentially get 2 relics. Forging a relic takes 50% less time, which is great. And then you have great towers. A second upgrade for defense towers, giving 50% attack power and 50% structure or health. I believe that's supposed to be what it means. So essentially, it just makes your towers even stronger, but you have to upgrade them more. You have, instead of having the mining speed increase, because they already get a bunch of mining speed increases, you get each ore extracted gives you +4 lore. So this helps push your lore tree, which is really good to get early on. You also have quality of life, 1 happiness per zone with upgraded civilian buildings, except houses. Super strong, because most of the time you are going to upgrade your buildings almost every zone. So they have a lot of good eco, and they have a lot of good forging and a lot of good mining. That's pretty much their big mining clan, and then essentially they're the big forging clan as well. So they kind of fit that role that none of the original clans filled, which was to be a mining and forging clan, which makes them very cool and unique. This is one of my, so out of this video, because I have a little more time here because I got done a little early comparatively, allows you to forge tools and stuff and recruit your war chiefs. This is the Volan's Forge. It's pretty much the smith for all the other clans, just a better version for this clan. Yeah, so, and then you have Brook, he forges faster, and then you have Etria, who builds and repairs faster. So that's important to know, because each of the war chiefs does something better than the other. So if you want him forging, and if you have someone that you need building, it's better to use her. Anyways, that being said, these are someone like this video right here, these are some of my favorite clans. I really like Horse, and I really like Dragon. Snake's interesting, but I'm not a big fan of it. But out of these, I do actually like both the Dragon and the Horse. Anyways, that being said, tell me what you guys think about each of these clans. If you've played them, if you haven't, what you think about the game overall so far, and the videos I've done. I always appreciate comments, and I like seeing people talk about the game below and just, you know, their experiences and all that, because it's very interesting to see other people's opinions, I think. That's what the internet's for, right? So, anyways, I appreciate everybody coming. I appreciate all the views I've been getting lately. Anyways, this has been Mystic Games. I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. Later.